Ah, yes. Yes. This is my time to shine, baby. I guess.
Hit him with the hind.
You beat me.
Ha
Yeah. Is Howard Stern going off the air, Daniel? Is a question I said to you the other night.
Wow.
And I'll fill in the gaps a little bit if you don't know. So every 5 years at Sirius, Howard will be given a contract, $100 million contract, which is an insane number to even think about. I guess we're talking about a lot of rich people today. So the contract's coming to an end, and then they'll need to go for the 5-year contract again. And there's been a lot of speculation that it's not going to happen. Recently we just had the Colbert Report with Stephen Colbert get cancelled. That was a similar deal, wasn't it? 100 million?
That was also, and it was partly because of that high price tag for the start.
Exactly. So 500 million.
No, this is just context to what you're saying.
fuck?
It was 500 million over 5 years.
Right.
That was the initial contract that he got with Sirius XM.
That is literally insane.
It's crazy.
That is so insane. But anyway, it looks like, it's a bit of speculation. So on the 2nd of, they've even started to go into the hype a little bit. They're going to address it on the air on September 2nd. That'll be the day we come back from holiday, but it won't hit us, I think, till the 3rd of September. But honestly, as someone who's I would say I'm a fan. I'm quite inspired by his show and him as a broadcaster and stuff. But I can definitely understand why it's maybe time for him to go. I think he's only doing 3 shows at the moment anyway. And he's definitely a boomer. And I think he would admit that. And we're going to find out basically. I don't know if cancel's the word. Maybe retiring. He'll try and probably spin it as retiring. I don't know. I'll be shocked if they do it. If they do another 5 years. But if they do another 5 years, I think the only way I could see it happening is if they say this is the final 5 years of the show. But we'll see. I was saying the other night, I think the saddest thing is that there's gonna be so much staff who just will be jobless.
That's always the tough part of any.
And they're in radio, so I know you can probably jump over to a podcast, but I'm sure it's a different cut of meat to come up with a saying.
So I think it would kind of be the ultimate irony if Howard Stern, who is sort of the ultimate uncancelable figure, ended up getting cancelled the old-fashioned way, where he just goes off the air because the company who funds him says we can't afford to do it anymore.
Well, I don't find that funny at all.
Well, it would be ironic, at least.
Look, look, I get it. It's a bit. Ethan talks about him all the time. He was a huge inspiration to shows that you love, and that whole idea of having the staff be a huge part of the show. The idea of sound bites that we're using. I'm not saying they reinvented the wheel, but they definitely popularized it. And I think you see that now being used in podcasts that you see today, particularly H3 podcasts or H3 show, as they now call it. I think that's kind of, and they admit that a lot, that it particularly back in the day, they were talking a lot about how it was a huge inspiration.
I think it's huge. I think what Stern did for radio is hugely influential. I think that I think a lot of it was for good, but not all of it, which we'll get to. But I do think what he was able to achieve in the radio space is super impressive and definitely commendable. And I think that any artist who can get to that point of making sorry, let me plug that in. Making a good amount of money for their art, I think should be commended for that achievement, Just give us 1 sec, folks.
Too much money. No way that shit is... Thank you.
Okay, now we're all good.
That's too much money, though. There's no way, that's how much money it was bringing in, I guess. So, But still, It sucks, but I still watch clips from the show. Call me a fucking dumbass, but I do.
Like I said, I think
Weekly.
okay, well done.
Maybe I won't be soon.
Well, look, I think it would be sad to see such a legend of radio go. I will say, I guess if we're going to get into the criticism sort of portion of this segment, which I know you hate to criticize the people you love.
No, I don't. I don't. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I just don't know if, like, I personally would say, like, oh, it's funny that he's, like, going off the air.
No.
Because, like, I think he's just such an influential part of, I think that's the day radio dies. Like, that's it. And I don't even care that much about radio, but it's like,
That's a very fair thing to say. What I mean more so when I say that it would be funny, not in like a ha-ha way, I more just mean that, one of my criticisms of Stern would be that I think he really made a stand for being able to like get on air and just do the show you wanted to do. But ultimately, and the reason the show is ending not necessarily on his terms is because he stayed under the umbrella of like a massive corporation like Sirius, and he never took the show independent. He never did like a totally removed from corporate advertiser version of the show. And I think that he obviously made a lot of money, so good for him. And he was still able to make a massive cultural impact, so I think that's great. But when you go down that path, it is up to result, exactly. It is up to Sirius.
I actually do completely agree with that, and I have not liked his like comments on like YouTubers and podcasters and stuff. It's like it's super boomer and old, and it's just backwards and not true. Like and he's old though. He's like in his 70s or something. Like,
and he has his place in radio history. Like, and he broke the ground he broke. But one thing, and we can. This clip was going viral from the Howard Stern show. Well, this must have been in the 2000s.
Yeah. Well, Artie Lang was there, so he was about 2000 to 2006 or 7.
It says, if anything from the early 2000s captures the delusion of the masses, it's a beautiful woman going on a show called Butterface, while a room full of ugly-ass bastards say she's unattractive.
So butt as in like ass?
No. So do you know the term Butterface? Do you know what that means? So,
I thought it meant like butt.
No. A Butterface, from what I understand, is... well, maybe before I spout my mouth, we'll get a definition. But I think it means that you have like a good body, a hot body, but an ugly face.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah, here, Butterface, a person regarded as having an attractive body but unattractive facial features.
So that's why she's in a bikini with a bag over her head.
Yes, so the idea of a Butterface is someone who looks hot on the body, but then when you see their face, you think that they're super ugly.
Okay.
And so one of the segments, I'm laughing because of like how fucked up it is, but it's also kind of funny. One of the segments they did was a Butterface contest. And this was how the contest was conducted.
Off the bag, here we go, and let's see the face.
Okay, perfectly good-looking woman there. Like,
yeah, that is pretty.
She's not even like... She's maybe a little bit unconventional, but not by any means unattractive. My goodness.
She kind of looks like Zendaya.
Yeah, like she looks fine. She looks like a Hollywood hot person playing an ugly person. Do you know what I mean? Like she doesn't even look.
Yeah, when they try and make like Tom Holland's meant to be this like geeky nerd that no one
and
thinks
it's like
attractive.
Is that a speed bump on the way?
Dude, and everyone is just laughing at her.
Why, Fred Norris? Why do you go on here? Like what? Yeah, why is this guy pretending to be sick? It's so bad. Why?
Look, this was also the time that.
Why would you go on though? I don't know. Do they pay the people to go on?
I don't know. Honestly, in the 2000s, people were just doing crazy shit like this, and this was just how it was.
It's funny because like you know how you see like I always see those like airline security shows my client watches, And it's like, why did you agree to show your face? Did they pay you?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's like, if you're bringing drugs into the country, sometimes they blur their face because they don't sign the release.
Well, a lot
So
of
I
the
guess
time,
maybe they get some money from it.
with those things, they probably try to ask you, like, when you're in a rush, and you just sign it, and you're like, oh, fuck it. In this case, I don't know if people came on. Maybe they did get a little couple of $100 for appearing. Honestly, this just like looks like a girl like without makeup or something. Like I don't. It's just it's an interesting relic, I guess. And I don't want to say that Stern was like singularly responsible. This was definitely a product of the whole culture at the time. You know, every radio show or TV show would have done a segment like this, I'm sure. But yeah, the Butterface contest. So
That being said,
what a legacy to leave behind. I mean, I'm kidding. I'm being a bit of a jerk, but
I mean, look, I don't. He did some crazy shit. There's no doubt in it. But I guess as someone who wants to kind of go on the air and be a bit of a bit of a
controversial
shock
character.
jockey, they called him.
That's right. Yeah, a shock jock.
So
yeah.
I guess that's why I've always really loved him, because it's like, wow, he just went on the air and he just did his thing and people loved it, and I'm like, maybe I can do that.
I think that is cool. Like, I don't think there's a problem.
I ain't doing that anytime soon, but
And look, he definitely came from a time where, if, he didn't get taken down in any of the meets. I'm trying to think of how to word things right now, but Me Too came and went and nothing came out about him. It sounds like he's, at least on a personal level, conducted himself pretty respectfully. Are you okay over there?
No, I don't think he got Me Too, but I think he was incredibly inappropriate. People would tune into his interviews because he would ask like celebrities about like their penis size or what it was like fucking so and so.
Yeah,
like,
he was provocative.
It was insane. Like, it was, people would tune in because like they didn't know what he was going to say next.
He does seem to have learned
Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life.
to be, a bit more respectful in certain ways. I don't know. I don't know how much of his old stuff he stands by.
No, he hates it. I read his autobiography. Well, it wasn't really an autobiography. It was
Well, yeah, you grow up, you
his
learn.
least favorite interviews.
I see. Like a look back on his career.
I don't read books, but I read that.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, he might be going off the air. We'll find out, I guess, in Australia.
We love you. You're very special.
Well, Trump obviously had a huge
Trump went on Stern a lot. That's
he
right.
was like a huge character on the show. I would say we'll find out on the 1st of September, and we'll pick it up. We'll pick up from there when we find out. But
this is also just
is radio about to die?
Well, yeah. The last point I would want to bring up, just for context sake, is that I said about him sticking with Sirius and stuff, and part of the problem with that kind of model is his salary goes up and it goes up and it goes up, and you look at podcast shows and stuff that are able to be sustainable and not have to shutter their doors because they're spending too much money on the talent. They don't spend so much money just on making sure the star of the show shows up. And when you have these big shows like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and Howard Stern, and you end up having a star that's making like $100 million a year, it becomes very hard to actually pay for a show that makes enough money to be justified, And that's why one of the reasons I think that maybe the independent online model can be better for some operations, because you don't just end up spending ridiculous amounts of money on talent, So that's my thoughts on that.
No, you're not wrong. I was trying to find the big star. So here it is.
I kind of literally see myself as a big star.
He is a big star, and like you said, it'll be interesting to see. Will the star flame out, or will he carry on for another 5 years?
Honestly, I don't think he'll be on for another 5 years, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
Myself as a big star. Big
Well
star.
done. Well done, Howard.
Okay, we'll come back to that in 2 weeks. You'll get your updates here.
Ah.
Oh no.